Hey, what's up, everybody? Rob Sower here with Sower Real Estate, Keller Williams Realty, Boise, here at the Coeur d'Alene office. And yeah, kind of a lot to talk about. I was having a bit of a tough time figuring out what I was going to kind of focus on this time around for the video. Obviously, there's the hurricanes, there's still NAR lawsuit fallout stuff that's going on everywhere. My mom had her 75th birthday. Which I know that's more, that's a talking point for me. I know it's not so much for you guys, but, obviously we see interest rates that are bouncing around quite a bit. So there's impact on that. And then, on a more somber and personal note for me, unfortunately, I lost a very, very close friend of mine to brain cancer, very, very recently. Which, by the way, it just really makes you realize how, something like that makes you realize how quickly the people that you love, or even yourself, things can change just so fast. And all this talk about real estate and everything else, and even like the hurricanes, I mean, that you see people losing loved ones there as well. It like I say, it makes you, or hopefully it makes you stop and think about what's really important. What are you doing with your day-to-day, and how can you maybe enjoy the time that you have better, etc. So anyway, not to be too somber there, but I do want to ask all of you, for all of you that do pray, please pray for my friend Brad and his family. It's a super difficult time for them. He was just a really good guy, a really, really good guy. And one of those characters that's kind of larger than life, but for the people that know who he is and everything, you just know. Anyway, so, okay, enough of that. So what's going on in the markets? Well, first of all, things are interesting. We are seeing, honestly, if you look at this chart for Ada County, everything is almost exactly the same. What is that? Turn that off. Everything is almost exactly the same as it was in August. So this month of September, I mean, literally, the active number of homes on the market was 1105. Now it's 1104. I mean, the inventory number is exactly the same, 2.5. We did see the average home sale price come down just a tiny bit, but it's basically nothing. And so I don't really have a whole lot to say there as far as like the actual numbers go, because what's happening in the market, in my opinion, is not so much shown in the numbers as it is kind of the boots on the ground. And I'll get to that here in just a minute. But now when we get up into the Kootenai County market, we saw pretty much the same thing. Very, very similar. Average home sale price, or the median home sale price, it came down by $1,000. The average days on market is like within a day or two of what it was before. What I did want to point out is where we're seeing some impact, and it's a little bit more on a year-over-year basis. And what I'm talking about there is we are seeing, well, and this is really no surprise, we are seeing like this total drop off as far as, so this is pending sales, total drop off from the peak in 2020. I mean, for example, in 2020, the pending sales were over 6,500. For 2023, 3,974. And you can kind of see the same thing for the closed sales. The peak in 2020 was 6,393, and now it's about 3,400. So there's not like a whole lot of like, I don't know, I guess monthly news that I would highlight. It's more on a scaled back version or view of things. And here's another example of this. This is our housing affordability index. Now, so what this means is this is basically, how affordable are homes, and the higher the number, the more affordable the homes are. If we go back to like 2012, it was over 200 as a number. And, we are seeing, because of the interest rates coming back just a little bit, we are seeing this affordability bump up just a little bit from 2023, when those interest rates were really, really high and it was a 64. Now it's gone up to a 69. As far as the interest rates go, though, I don't see that having much of an impact quite yet. And really the numbers are kind of showing that. I think you're going to see those numbers fall off, the interest rate numbers fall off a little bit more, maybe towards the end of this year and first quarter, as far as the impact goes, because it's just not taking hold yet. So what are people saying, though? Not the numbers, but like, what are some of the things that are going on? Well, we are still seeing, even though the numbers show that it's, quote, a seller's market, we are seeing buyers with a lot more negotiating power, and they are able to make a lot more things happen to their favor. We're seeing more and more stuff on inspection contingencies. We're seeing more and more deals fall apart because people get cold feet. The more agents I talk to, they're a little bit nervous if they're representing sellers. They're nervous on, okay, well, who is this buyer? They're getting more scrutinizing on who those buyers are. Are they really serious, et cetera, et cetera. On the flip side, we're also seeing more negotiations for buyers in compromised situations. For example, there's a situation right now. This actually just happened over the last several days. So I had a client in the Boise area, and they contacted me and said, hey, there's this place that we really like that's on the market, and it's kind of special for us. It fits their criteria. They have a very unique set of criteria, which I won't get into. It doesn't really matter, I suppose. And they said, we really want to take a shot at this house. So I talked them through it. I said, look, here's the pros and cons. Here's some things you have to really think about. I don't know how we would do this logistically. Are you thinking you would, just try to do an offer that would not be contingent upon the sale of your home? Do you need the money from your home? All these kinds of things. They came back and they said, well, no, we need to sell our home in order to purchase this other house. I said, okay, well, that's a pretty tough thing to do typically. But in this market, I knew that there was a chance that we could do that because of just what's going on. Sellers are a little bit more anxious to make deals happen, and get their properties sold. So after talking with the listing agent, etc., we basically were able to structure a deal that was a little bit of non-refundable earnest money. And I explained what that meant to my buyers. In order for them to get their home on the market and under contract, and that earnest money would go non-refundable after they completed their inspections, so they're still relatively protected. And we were able to negotiate a deal, and now these clients are getting their home ready to put on the market. So that's something you just would not have heard of at all when the market was going crazy, but that's how the markets change. And again, that's not something that you would necessarily see in just the fact of, oh, well, we have 2.5 months of inventory. Okay, how does that translate to day-to-day activity? It depends. So anyway, that's kind of some of the stuff we're seeing. Hopefully that helps you guys. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, either in North Idaho or in the Boise area, both of those markets are a little bit different. We're seeing a lot of similarities in some ways. The North Idaho market's way more seasonal, as you can imagine, than the Boise market. But that being said, I would expect to see the Boise market. You'll see that inventory kind of tail off here pretty soon. Okay, I'm sorry, that was kind of a long video. Hope you guys are enjoying the fall weather. Get ready because it's going to get cold here pretty soon. And if there's anything that we can do to help you guys with real estate, you know how to reach us. Thanks. Bye.